You're listening to the LaRocque Life Podcast, where hosts Michael and Laura explore relationships, adventure, freedom, and just some all-around real and raw conversations. Drawing from their 17 years together with a bit of sarcasm, humor, tears, a few and lots of love. They deep dive into the male and female perspective on relationships and navigate the highs and lows of life together. Sit back, grab your love mug, and let's get into today's conversation.
All right, babe. Episode 46. What are we talking about? Hey, leave me alone.
I suggested right before this that we mind fuck everyone, and I say episode 46. What are we talking about, babe?
We're going to talk about T.E.A.M.
Is that what I sound like?
Probably not. No, not with that fancy microphone now. But no, seriously, what are we talking about?
We're going to talk about T.E.A.M.
Oh, okay, perfect. But yeah, we're wrapping up our first group, hey, and it's fucking awesome. Love it. I love this shit.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it really is. And then working out today, I just had a whole huge brain dump on my personal program for men, and it's gonna be fucking deadly. I don't know, jacked up. I'm really excited for this stuff.
Jacked.
Let's talk about T.E.A.M. What's T.E.A.M? I talk about T.E.A.M a lot, and when I talk about it, it's just like we're a team. It's teamwork. Get through this fucking life together. Make the most of it. Have some fun. But what did we break down T.E.A.M with our communication module? What are you saying?
Yeah, so this is a part of our program. One of the modules, communication, as Mike just said. Oh my gosh, I feel like such a silly mood. We just literally had a really good, chill, but good weekend. I don't know.
Just being silly geese. Well, it was awesome. Fuck, just a couple hours ago, Lennox rode his bike by himself for the first time, like an actual pedal bike. And
yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Check out our story on LaRocque Life podcast.
No, it'll be gone.
Oh, it'll be gone by this time.
This is 2 days later. And we spent some time with some family and just outside a lot. And it was just I think for the first time, I felt this weekend was really chill, but then the house didn't go to shit, because sometimes I get chill, I get lazy, and then everything just goes to shit. But still stayed up on dishes and with everything, but relaxed a lot and visited a lot and
we got that
played outside a lot.
Bunk beds done.
Oh yeah, we got Lennox's bunk bed, so it feels accomplished. But yeah, again, because Lennox rode a bike. But yeah, I don't know, just all the things. So I just feel good and silly and not tired.
And it was great teamwork.
And it was just really good teamwork.
Yes.
We're such a great team.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to Life with Laura.
Hey, man. It works.
Why don't we start a reality TV show? Can we be cool like the Kardashians?
I know, you caught up on the Kardashians all week. Did you know this, Mike? No, who the fuck cares?
I would like to state that, 2 weeks ago, 5 days ago, I didn't know shit about the Kardashians, and nor did I even care, but I somehow ended up on Wikipediaing them, and then everyone in the whole cast, and I didn't even know that their dad was connected to O.J. Simpson, and I had no idea why they were even famous, who they were, where they came from, just knew everyone watched their show, and so now I just know random tidbits about the Kardashians, so I just like to tell Mike about them, and he doesn't care.
No.
Kind of like Mike in electronics.
Yeah, that's bit me in the ass. Let's come back.
You start to tell me, and I'm just sorry, zoned out. Or clicked off. Don't even. But anyways, okay, so let's come back to this team
Get to the point before people click off on this.
Okay, so where was I going with that? In our communication module, we touch on the point of being a team and so being us, not me, because that's just pretty self-explanatory, right?
No, and you have it broke down into an acronym. So
well, I don't. I learned this through our training, but so being a team means that you're not fighting against each other, right? Because, and you always say this, like, as long as everyone in this house is cool and safe and good, then like nothing else matters, right?
Right.
And not even just safe and cool and good, but opinions and beliefs and, living up to others' expectations. So validation, that kind of stuff. If it's not from within this house, it doesn't matter, right?
Exactly.
What you're saying about when you lay your head down on the pillow at night?
Well,
Like those other people aren't with you, right?
No, you're the only one going to sleep. And it sounds weird because you're laying beside your partner, but you're inside your head. And so many people, when I was going through my like depression and so much anxiety and stuff, like I would just ruminate in my head and just make up all these stories. No one else is there. Like you would want to be, you're there to support me and you help me. But at the same time, like I'm in that fucking battle by myself. So you have to make sure and you have to get selfish, and you're the one going to sleep at night by like in your own head, and you have to be okay with that.
Yeah. So this actually came up in earlier calls, Zoom calls with our group before the communication one, but we were talking about how even like patterns and shifting that kind of stuff within our relationship, it can be hard because we can like dump on our partner, right? Like it's so much easier to be nicer to Susie down the street than it is to you, right? Because I can just put on this fake facade, but then to you, I'll just like be a bitch or, dump all of my fears and insecurities on you. And obviously there is a time and a place for this deeper level of connection and really communicating that stuff, but from a place of respect.
Yeah.
And also knowing then that we are on the same team. So instead of fighting each other in that regard, right? Turning that into it's you and me against the world, right? Like you and I are a team. And so the acronym for team is trust and honesty, emotional health, acceptance, and then mutual respect.
Right.
And so if we were to dive into trust and honesty, I mean, that's obviously self-explanatory, but in two ways. Am I being truthful and honest with myself and, who I am and what I want and what's going on for me? But then am I also holding a space of honesty and truth for my partner, like a safe space for you to express your feelings and your honesty, like being honest with me, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that was just like the other night where I don't know what I was doing. I was just kind of brain dumping on you a little bit and just going through stuff, and then got really vulnerable about where I am as a man, where my life's headed, and how I've had to kind of navigate this all by myself, right? Without my dad around. And it was awesome to have that, like to have someone there and to be supported, and I could cry and you'd hold me and you could like, we would get through things, right? Like it's not not from a place of a real, again, not like that mopey mic. We use it a lot, but it's a perfect,
totally different.
It's a perfect spot for that. Like it's not like I'm not just sitting there bitching and moping and poor me. It was like just to get it out and get it off my head and get it off my chest, and then we can talk about it a bit, and then we spin it, and now I got even more ammunition to help more men to get through that, right? That don't have that, and especially nowadays, like with a lot of single moms and dads that are checked out and dads that didn't have that support, so now they can't support their kids. So I really want to break that pattern, and I think we can, and break that cycle.
Yeah, and I guess what's cool with that is that when you're more truthful with yourself, then you're actually able to open up and be more truthful for a partner. Or when you're more truthful with yourself, you're able to, allow your partner to express those feelings because you have this container, right? You're not just like, living in your own lies. And when I say lies, just like not being honest with yourself, right? And then there was something else I wanted to say about that. So emotions, right? Because emotions, they just get stuck in us, and they're there, and until we can stuff them down, and they're just stuck, stagnant feelings and emotions, and they're still causing problems. And so over time, I believe that causes dis-ease in the body, whether that is some form of cancer or organs to shut down or anxiety, depression, all of this stuff, right? But the more we can talk about it, feel it, and let it go, then the lighter we're going to feel, right? And so bringing this back to partners, so often we're just like on the defense with each other. And instead of opening up, like allowing our hearts to open up and share it more honestly and authentically, then like if we aren't doing that, then we have these defenses up and we're not going to connect. But as soon as you started expressing your emotions, more came up, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So there's a time and a place for it as well. Like obviously not when you're rushing out the door, but holding that space for and with each other can create such a deeper connection and intimacy, but also just so much growth for your partner, for yourself. For you together.
And that's the whole point. I bang on that a lot. Like, what the fuck's the point of being in a relationship if you can't have that, if you can't do that? Just having a roommate to pay bills with, fuck, you might as well just get someone that there isn't that whole huge emotional connection with, so you don't have to put that effort in, which a lot of guys are doing now with, like I say, with like porn and sex dolls and fucking Uber Eats and all these other things. Like, you don't need to. But if you really want to and you want to put in that work, like the payoff is just fucking astronomical. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, and I know like we bang on lots about feminine and masculine and how the feminine is more like very emotional and tuned with emotions and feelings, a bit of a hurricane. But I really hope that when we talk about these kinds of things, and because so let me back up for a second. We do say that like the masculine is meant to kind of be like stand firm and like hold that space, right? But at the same time, there is feminine energy within more masculine dominant males. And so being in touch with that, which is exactly what you're talking about, right? Just that honesty, truth about your feelings, and that creates polarity. So in that moment, because I think a lot of guys just think like it's not safe to express myself or share these emotions. It makes me look weak. And we've talked about that on many episodes. But this experience that we're sharing is to prove and to show that I didn't look at you and be like, oh, you're so weak. I can't believe you said that. Right?
No, and then you can understand where I'm coming from, or where my head's at least, right? And give you a better glimpse of what's happening, because you don't know, right? Or if I'm not opening up or not showing, then you don't know.
Exactly. And this is one of the things about the feminine as well, is like they actually want to nurture and take care of, right? Like we want to love our men and take care, like not take care of them from your mother's standpoint and like pick up your dirty socks and do the dishes all the time and all of that kind of stuff. Like we don't want to mother you, but we want to love you. And we want to nurture you, right? So when you allow your partner to do that, then she like feels needed and it's such a deeper connection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It goes both ways, right? And then that's where you feel the man too. Is like, hey, open that jar, like we talked about.
Yeah.
I got it, babe. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think that that makes you more masculine in my eyes, for me anyway. Like then that frees me up to not have to. You're not putting up this fake fucking facade on that side of things that everything's okay and you don't have feelings or anything like that. And then that opens you up to be more into, or freeing up more headspace and more things to think logically, to come up with different ways to help your community, to help your tribe, more energy to work out. Like you're not wearing all this heavy fucking emotional baggage that just weighs you down, that all you want to do is sit on the couch and fucking watch TV and eat your feelings away, right?
Continue numbing it all.
Yeah, so exactly. It just opens you up to do more things in the more masculine fashion that, I'm going to go downstairs now and go work out, go clean my guns, get ready to hunt, go do all these things, right?
Yeah.
Which sounds extremely stereotypical. But whatever, that's where we're at. That's where my head's at.
Yeah. And that leads us right into the next step, which is emotional health. And so it's really like, am I taking responsibility for my own emotional health so that I can support my partner in theirs? Right. And I think those two kind of go hand in hand.
I think so. Big time.
Because we just can't hold that space for our partner. There's like a fine line between, and not even a fine line, but there is this space of taking care of my own needs and desires, but then also speaking it with you as well. And that's a part of our communication, guideline. It's all about getting really clear on what's even bothering you. What do you want? And if it's something that is just yours, like if it's just but if it's a belief or something that is your own to take care of, and you don't even need to involve your partner because it's your own inner healing, and then you want to share with your partner, by all means, but not like just being triggered and then going and reacting to your partner, right? So we do have this whole process laid out of, taking care of your own emotional needs or feelings first, and then coming to your partner so that you can actually take that and move forward with it, not just have a blow up session and then really get nowhere, right? Just continue your cycles and your patterns over and over again.
Oh yeah, nothing gets done, especially on the like for me anyway. I would just shut down, and we're not gonna like nothing would happen, right?
Yeah.
No good will come of it anyway.
Yeah, and so I mean, as cliche as it is to say, but like taking care of your own emotional health and your own emotional needs allows you to be your best self to show up for your partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And we do this, like we've been doing this even more now, where for you, taking care of your emotional health includes working out. Like it's your physical health, but that is also your emotional health, right? Because when you work out, you feel really good about yourself. But also what's really cool and from an energetic standpoint is that when you work out, like you are literally moving energy, you're sweating out this stuck, stagnant emotions and feelings. It's really cool. Like working out does so much more for your body than just looking good, right? There's so much more going on the inside, even from an energetic and an emotional standpoint. So you do that. And I help out with that in the way of like taking care of Lennox. We'll go outside. We'll do the bedtime routine kind of thing. Like you get your space, right? And then we flip that too. And I get my space and I need what I need to do or have what I need to do. And you take care of Lennox because we both know that it's going to come back to us, but also we love each other and we want that for each other. But at the same time, I know that by doing that, you're better for us.
Absolutely. And I think I said that the other night. Like I did realize it down here. I was like, holy fuck. Like I didn't, just to process it a little more, like, thank you for giving me that. And there's a lot of people I know, and I'm sure I've done it to you in the past, and I'm sure you've done it to me, where it's like, make me feel guilty or make you feel guilty for doing something, right? Like if I would want to go work out or got to go work out, babe, at like whatever, 6:30 after we eat supper or something. And it's like, okay, then I'll do the dishes and take care of Lennox or whatever that looks like, right? And not even consciously doing it, but just trying to make me feel bad or trying like just to put it out there that you're doing all this stuff or whatever. But I know and I realize and I want to, like, I tell you that or try to tell you that or show you at least that it is appreciated. You have to show your partner that you appreciate these things because yeah, you do. You might appreciate it, but if they don't know in any form, then they don't feel appreciated, right? That just like work, if your boss isn't telling you or showing you anything, like you just think that it's going under the radar, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. You're an important cog to that wheel.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important aspect of communication to note because so many times we just think of communication as like, oh, I have to communicate the hard things, as in, you know, when I'm upset, when I'm triggered, when I'm angry, what's frustrating me, like what you're annoying me with.
Yeah.
But what you're just saying is a very key point to communication as well, because you don't want to only talk about those things in a serious way. Like take that other spin and really tell each other what you appreciate and focus on that too, right?
Yeah.
So that's a huge part of communication. I wanted to just say on that note as well, though, that it's not just physical activity. Like this is the example we're using, but like, let's say you liked going to the gun range and shooting your guns once a week or a few times a week. I don't know.
Right.
Or going out hunting or going out skiing or whatever that looks like. I think, and because I used to be this person that was like, took it personal and then would get passive aggressive and it'd be like, you don't want to spend time with me or that's more important than me, because I had a lot of my own shit to work on and to heal back then, right? But now I'm like, I'm really glad that you're going out and doing those things, or like going with a buddy out to the mountains, right? And yeah, okay, so me and Lennox will just chill for the day, but I mean, that's okay. We get this time together. But again, I know that fills your cup and you come back a better person for us. So it doesn't matter what your partner's going out and doing in a, healthy or empowering type of way.
Right.
Trying to just spin that to being like, yeah, okay, actually, this is really good for them. This is what they need. They need to be with other men. They need to be with other women. Like, well, maybe not you be with other women, but you know what I mean? Our partners being with their tribes of people and just getting filled up in that way.
It is. I noticed that. Was that last week or whatever when you went for supper and
one of my girlfriends and I went for dinner.
Yeah, and then when you like, obviously we do our thing and like you go have your time, and then when you come back, it's like we had a great conversation. You're just fucking like banging shit off of ideas and everything like that. Like it filled your cup. You're ready to go, right? And
Yeah, because
we're
you
not
just like
lingering around.
interrupt your everyday patterns, right? Like it's just, and then that sparks a creativity or sparks a, you know, something different, or it sparks a different connection because it's like, ooh, I was out and I don't know, I was just out in public. I seen other people and like have something to talk about, but then also I'm just excited to see you and I'm grateful for what we have. And it can just spiral into a deeper connection and intimacy, right?
Yeah.
So I can't remember if there's anything else I wanted to say on that, but essentially taking care of your own emotional health, but then also supporting and respecting your other partner and giving them space so that, you know, giving it to each other, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say on that aspect real quick. So if you're not happy that your partner is doing these things, then that's like step 1 and 2 of our actual communication plan is you need to first address and get really clear on if this is your problem, because that's what it was for me, right? That was all my own insecurities and my own shit. And so you can speak to someone, you can hire coaches, you can go through different healing processes to recognize all of your own stuff. But yet, if you're like, no, I'm good, I'm just annoyed because he's gone too much and I have all the burden of the kids. This is where a deeper communication conversation needs to come into play, right?
Yeah.
And our guidebook, our communication module, I mean, walks right through that and a plan on how you even bring this up to your partner and get really clear so that you actually find solutions and not just continue down the road of getting angry and frustrated and then doing your patterns of separating for a little while till you get over it and then coming back together and
Getting
doing
the old crazy eight going. Yeah.
Doing the whole thing all over again. So the next one is acceptance. So far we've had T is actually trust and honesty. And then E is emotional health. And then the next one is acceptance. And so this one is, I mean, relatively self-explanatory. It would definitely include accepting yourself, right? So obviously getting to that point of loving who you are so that you can fully give and receive in your relationship, right? Without, again, these insecurities and these blocks and these protection mechanisms that we all take on through our childhood and into our adult years. But also, are you accepting your partner for who they are, like weaknesses, strengths, everything? Because just because you see it as a weakness or, I don't know, whatever, like they are who they are and you fell in love with them for a reason. You're married to them or in this long-term relationship with them for a reason. So are you accepting them? Right?
Yeah.
We're not perfect either. So if we want to be accepted for who we are, just kind of take a look in the mirror and are you accepting your partner for who they are?
Yeah. And again, in this time, in the last, I don't know, call it 6 months, I've never felt more authentic in my life, really, of who I really am and just living that, who I am. And you've been with me every step of the way. And it's been amazing. And I'm just thankful that you've stuck it out this long and with the evolution of our whole relationship and evolution of our lives, right? Like we've grown up, we've grown up together and this is where we're at now. But, I thank you for that. Cause again, I'm by no means am I perfect, but, and it's tough. It'd be hard to live with some people. Right. And I get that. I understand that. And, yeah, I'm very grateful for you accepting me for all I am and for what it is. Right. And again, it goes both ways. You're fucking amazing, which is easy to accept. But I mean, again, there's things, right? And
excuse me,
I don't know what they are. I'm just for the sake.
Let's hear them.
For the sake of the back and forth on this show, but no, it just is what it is, right? Like we all have our weaknesses, but facing them, and especially with going through all the personal development we have been, and like, I mean, with coaching and with programs and everything else, like you are forced. This is the greatest thing for our relationship. I used to say that about CrossFit all the time, where it's like, till I became a coach, then you really get into the techniques, and then as you're coaching it, then you get better, and like your squats get better, everything gets better. And,
you're implementing everything you're teaching, right?
Absolutely. And this is a prime example of that. Like we have to hit things head on. And we talk about communication. We got to communicate. We have to go through on these things. And
Yeah, and sometimes it's annoying as hell, but
fuck, is it ever, right? But it works.
But it always works out so much better. In the moment, it sucks because you're like, fuck, I have to do this thing differently.
Yeah.
But it pays off. It totally pays off. And that's like, I essentially think we could, bring that back to Lennox learning to ride his bike. Like, it's freaking painful in the beginning. And we're like, don't go backwards. That's your brake. You're going to fall. Push forward. God, this is frustrating. And I mean, it's equally as frustrating for him, right? But we had that glimmer of riding on his own today, and it's going to happen. It's just going to continually happening more and more and more until he's finally just free to ride his bike on his own, right? So that's how I feel this work is.
Oh, yeah.
Communication.
And it never ends, right? It never ends. And it's only going to get better and better. And I don't know. Obviously, there's pros and cons behind everything. And sometimes it is easier. Like ignorance is bliss. And it would be nice to say, oh, fuck, I'm just going to shut down for a while and you don't have to do anything. But that gets you nowhere. And it's only going to create more problems in the back end.
Well, and that's fine if you're comfortable and you're good with the comfort and where you're at.
I suppose,
but if you want to change anything, then that's not going to work anymore, right?
No. So I really think that's about it on that one. Like I really do appreciate everything that you've been with and everything that you've accepted me for and all my fucking like harebrained schemes and ideas and everything else. And here we are.
Well, and I just wanted to say on that too, as you were saying that, I mean, that was a lot of personal work myself because I covered up so much of my own insecurities and my own wounds by wanting to, like, trying to be perfect, right? And like, I'm perfect, but then always being so hard on myself because it wasn't good enough. And it's kind of like, well, when will it be good enough? Never, because there's nothing to accomplish. Nothing will ever be good enough. And so because I held that to myself, I definitely held you to that regard. Like I was like, you need to be better. You're not enough of this. You're not enough of that. And when I started to really taking this back to the acceptance, when I really accepted myself, then I was like, yeah, okay, so I am not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. Perfect is a really shitty goal to even aim for. And I understand that you're a human as well. And you're never going to be perfect. I mean, your weaknesses are cute and great as well. So I can love all of it, right? Instead of being brought down or just going down a negative thought pattern even.
Right.
So yeah, acceptance is really huge. So the next one is mutual respect. And this is kind of tying it all back around to what we were saying about like Susie down the street. So this came up on our group call where one of our girls actually said that. Like she was like, why do I treat him so terribly, but yet I'm so good with everyone at work? And, I think there is this aspect of we feel comfortable with each other. And so, and it's kind of like, well, you're not going to leave me or like you're stuck with me, right? But shouldn't that mean the opposite, that you get a deeper respect for me because you're never going anywhere?
Oh, that's what I say all the time.
You're never going anywhere.
Yeah, I will find you.
I will lock you up.
But yeah, no, I say that all the time. Like, I don't give a fuck about whoever around me. Like, I mean, I treat people really well, I guess would be the best word. And I take that, like that ethos. I try to make it like, make everyone feel good. And I really believe that. And I truly believe that. And I'm so confident now in myself that I do that with people. And I really do. And I genuinely care when I ask people questions around me and like today was my spa day. So like getting my hair cut, like really opening up to this lady and just talking and having a good bullshit. And then even get my eyebrows done so I can actually see you.
And what else did you get done?
No, I fuck whatever. Like I get them. You gotta be a man. Get your eyebrows threaded. See how manly you are. Fucking hurts. But no, getting that done, like talking to the girl, she just came from India 2 years ago. She's going to school. She's getting her early childhood development. Like she's going through shit too, right? And it's been hard on her because she said she was able to go to school the first year and like everyone was around and things like that. But now she has to learn from a home on Zoom, right? Yeah. So being at work is nice, she said, to interact with people. But aside from that, like she's away from her family. She's away from fucking her country. And now she's on Zoom at school. Like, there's a lot of shit going on. But I generally care about people and I care about that, right? So it means a lot. But I mean, I'm not going to treat them with more respect than I treat you. I try to treat everyone with a certain level of respect. But you, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I hold you on a pedestal. Like I really do. I want to put myself beside you on that pedestal. I fit your little wedding cake, but I do. Like, I mean, I get very defensive for you or with you or like for you if anyone ever says anything, looks at you funny, like I don't know. It's just, it's getting weird. I guess this conversation is getting weird.
Mike's a little bit psycho.
Yeah.
What he's trying to say.
I'm really nice psychopath. I don't know where I'm going with it, but I would treat you with far more respect and dignity than the next person, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And I think, again, this whole treating ourselves with respect then trickles into treating our partners with respect, because it's hard to respect people we love when we don't respect ourselves too, right? But because this is about us versus me, obviously this is about our partners. So yeah, ask yourself, like, do you treat your partner better than you would treat your coworker or your neighbor? And it's, really good. It's like children where they feel safe with their parents. So that's where they tend to act out more and throw their little temper tantrums. And that's actually a really great thing, because that means that they're super comfortable around you and this is where they can just unleash. And so I can see that in relationships, but at the same time, you're not a child anymore who doesn't know how to regulate your emotions.
Right.
Right? There's a slight difference there.
Slightly.
And I always say, I think we're all just wounded little children, like adult wounded little children walking around navigating this life. And so as you have a lot more self-awareness, then you're able to heal those aspects of yourself, or even just recognize where you're reacting from, and then make a new choice in that moment, or, seek out the help, do what or support and whatever you need to do to be able to move through all of that stuff that you're still living and hanging on to unconsciously. But so that's the main difference is, yes, we feel comfortable in our relationship and we can unleash all of our feelings and emotions, but it's really important to be in tune with those ourselves first so that we can give our partners a level of trust that we want in return. And I guess that's a really great way to look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, do you treat your partner with the respect that you would want to be treated with? And if your partner's not treating you with the respect that you want, maybe take a look at the respect you're treating them.
100%. And that's a big with men, right? Like, I mean, I hold that as one of the biggest things in my life, or one of the biggest pillars is respect from other people, respect from my peers, respect from whatever that looks like, and respect for my partner, respect for my wife. Right. And I hold that near and dear to my heart. And I think every masculine man wants that. Respect is a big driver. It's a big fuel, right? But no matter what you do, you have to earn respect. You can't demand respect. You can't do anything.
Yeah,
you have to earn it. Yeah, you have to earn it. There's no way around it. So you have to give it to get it, right? So it goes a long ways.
Is there a song? Is that a song?
Probably. There's a lot of things we can turn into songs here. Fuck, I just got to warm my vocal cords a little more.
I don't know. Give it to get it. That just reminded me of something, but I can't think of anything to sing to. So, I'll save y'all the y'all.
Alrighty. Anyway, well, let's start wrapping this up, because our times are looking good now. I want to stick around these times. So
yeah. So I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's like having this team mentality. So you can take the trust and honesty as being the T, emotional health, acceptance, and mutual respect, and just check in with yourself every once in a while and be like, am I doing these things? Am I giving my partner? Am I giving myself this? And just really listen to this episode with your partner as well, and start taking on this mentality of, we're a team, because once you realize you're a team and you're going for the same things in life, which will be in a whole other topic another day where we can talk about goals and visions and what you're talking about and where you're headed in life. But when you actually realize that you're on a team, then you're able to communicate deeper, because you're communicating from a place of, we're going to get to a solution and we're going to work this out, not getting defensive and blocking everything. Right.
Right.
And then you can work on growing and evolving together and going for your goals. So just kind of a self-evaluation here. Are you guys being a team? If you're not, that's cool. You can start being a team at any time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. And we can help you with that.
We can help you with that.
Because this was a snippet of our Safe and Wild program out of communication module.
Yeah, just a small section out of the communication module. So
yeah, it's cool. So for that, go to our website, go to LaRocqueLife.com, get on the waiting list. So we're wrapping up our first go around, and the second one will be happening, what did we say, like 6-8 weeks. But get on the waiting list. You'll be the first to find out. We'll get it out to everybody. This, like I say, I'm not joking when I say that. Like, this is fucking awesome, and it's firing me up. I love it. I love talking to the guys. I like talking to the women. Just helping couples, helping relationships grow and progress, and getting men unstagnant, and just going, like, just getting everyone feeling better. Like, I mean, it's not all rainbows and butterflies by any means, but just to get on a better path. I've been down that fucking shitty path, and it's not fun. It just sucks for everyone around you. It's not good. So
yeah, and I mean, this is just the cool part about it, is you're kind of just going through these cycles and these everyday patterns with your partner and with yourself, and doing something like Safe and Wild just interrupts that, and it gives you some new things to process and to think about and to talk about. And that's actually been one of the biggest feedbacks so far from the couples, is that it's really sparking different conversations that they're not used to having, and having to go deeper, but also just things that they're not generally even thinking about because they're just so busy lifing, right? Yeah. And just moving through the motions. And so it's really interesting in that way. And the last piece I will say that's really cool is that each couple gets the same modules and shows up on the same calls, and we talk about the same things, but everyone is getting something completely different from it because they're getting exactly what they need from where they're at, both in their personal life and in their partnership. So it's just really cool to watch it all unfold.
Awesome. Okay, well, I love you.
I love you too.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at LaRocque Life Podcast and online at LaRocqueLife.com. Ladies, find Laura on social media at Laura LaRocque and online at LauraLaRocque.com. Have a request for a show topic? We love that. Send us an email at michael@LaRocqueLife.com or DM at LaRocque Life Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.